Hi guys, I'm super excited to announce that my new palette is finally available. This is the Magical Girl palette. I based the color scheme off of all the Magical Girl anime I watched growing up. This is a 12-pan watercolor set. It comes with 6 matte paints and 6 shiny watercolor paints. And everything comes in a tin container, and you can add more paints to the set if you'd like. It also comes with a swatch page. It's printed on really high quality watercolor paper, so you can swatch your paints to see how they look. I worked really super hard on this palette, and I'm so excited that it's finally here. If you're interested in it, I will link it down below, but the link to my online shop is also in my link tree. Let me know what you guys think, and shout out to the one person who actually guessed the theme of this palette. Hi, come with me as I mull a bunch of this peachy pearl watercolor paint. I've had so much energy the past few days. Once you're sick for a while and then you start to feel better, you feel like you can do anything. Like, I feel like I could fight God right now. So the past few days I've been doing all the stuff I haven't been able to do while I've been really sick. I literally reorganized like half my studio and made a whole new paint making station. I've made so much paint, I've gotten so much drawing done, and it just feels really good to be productive again. And I'm so excited to be making new videos because I've missed talking to you guys. But update me on how your week has been. Have you guys been productive, or have you guys had like a lazy week? Hi! Today we're making some mint watercolor paint. So, the other day my mother was doing some like spring cleaning, and she found my old high school ID cards. You know, the ones that they give you so you can like use the library and stuff. I did not think I changed very much since high school. But just like the way I carry myself, the way my face looks, the way my hair looks, everything has changed so much, and now I'm actually starting to feel like an adult, and it's kind of scary. Because in my mind, I'm still like 16, but in real life, I'm like a 23-year-old adult woman with a business, and my brain is starting to actually like realize that. Can anyone out there relate? Hi, come with me as I make some really cool colored watercolor paint. So right now I'm making a bunch of paints for a brand new palette I'm planning to release in a few weeks. And this palette has a specific theme that I love, but I don't want to just tell you guys the theme of this upcoming palette. I'd rather you guys guess it. So I'm gonna tell you guys the name of the paint I'm making right here. And based on the name, I want you guys to guess what the palette's theme's gonna be. So this paint is a really light yellow watercolor paint with some neon yellow pigment mixed in, so it almost glows. And the name of this paint is Usagi. But yeah, let me know what you guys think my next palette's theme is gonna be, and what do you guys think about this paint? Hi, come with me as I make some neon coral watercolor paint. So for the longest time, I have had a messed up sleep schedule. I get really bad nightmares, so it's really hard to get like a good amount of sleep, so I'm always kind of tired. Plus, I'm just like way more of a night person. I way prefer being awake at night versus the day. But I've been really sick the past few weeks, and I feel like the sickness has kind of flipped my sleeping schedule on its head. Cause now I wake up at like 9 o'clock feeling like good and ready to work. So like I'm working normal 9 to 5 hours, and I feel so responsible not staying up till like gremlin hours doing work. But let me know, do you guys work better during the day or at night? Hi, come with me as I make some lime green watercolor paint. So fun fact, when I'm making watercolor paint, I'm usually binge watching a TV show in the background because it takes me a few hours to make each paint. And my obsession for the past few months has been Criminal Minds. I love Criminal Minds, but I'm someone who gets really bad nightmares. So whenever I watch too much Criminal Minds, I know I'm gonna have really bad nightmares that night. Because for those of you who don't know, Criminal Minds is about catching like serial killers. It's also the same with horror movies. I love horror movies, but I know if I watch too many of them before bed, I'm gonna have the worst nightmares. Can anyone else relate to this? Hi, I'm gonna make some pink watercolor today and answer a question I've been seeing a lot on my videos and some of my other creator friends' videos. So a comment I see a lot on my videos and other people's videos are, "Where have you been? I haven't seen your videos in forever." And the short answer to that is, your favorite creators probably have been making videos, the same videos that you love. The algorithm just hasn't been pushing them to you. I don't know why on any video sharing app this happens, where the algorithm just randomly decides to stop pushing videos to people who love them. But I can guarantee you your favorite creators are still posting and still making great content. Hi, come with me as I make some weird colored watercolor paint. I'm really tempted to name this paint Airplanes, because it reminds me of that meme that went viral a couple years ago of Twilight Sparkle and Mordecai from the regular show, where they're looking up at the night sky and Hayley Williams' like Airplanes is playing in the background. That being said, this paint actually looks so cool. I really want to paint a galaxy with this watercolor, and I think it goes perfect with the theme of the new palette I'm working on. No one has guessed the theme of this palette perfectly yet, so try to guess what my new palette's gonna be. Hi, a question I get all the time is, how do I fill up my little watercolor pans? And for my big batches of paint, I typically use a squeeze bottle just like this one. Using a squeeze bottle like this allows me to fill up a lot of pans very quickly and without any mess. I used to just use my palette knife to kind of scoop the paint into the pans, but that resulted in me getting paint like everywhere all the time. And not only did it waste a lot of paint, it also resulted in my clothes and my furniture and my work area getting covered in watercolor paint. So this way, it's a lot easier and a lot quicker to make a lot of watercolor paint. Hi, come with me as I make some watercolor paint. So I was having a conversation with my dad the other day where I was explaining to him that I have only like 2 looks. My first look is where I look like a gremlin. This is typically what I look like when I'm working. I'm wearing like sweats and I have crazy hair, no makeup. I'm kind of dressed like a 40-year-old dad on vacation. Because like I'm working, I have paint everywhere. I don't need to look cute, you know? And then my second look is where I am all dressed up. I have my makeup done to the nines. I have a super cute outfit. And that's the me that you see about 1% of the time. But when she comes out, she looks good, you know? Hi, come with me as I fill up some watercolor pans and answer a few of your guys' questions. So on my last video where I was filling up watercolor pans, you guys left quite a few questions, so here are some answers. The number 1 most asked question was, how do I get the paint in this bottle? And the simple answer is, I use a funnel. When I'm done making paint, I scoop it up and put it in a glass jar with my palette knife. And then when I'm ready to fill up watercolor pans, I use a funnel and pour the paint into the bottle. And any excess I pour back into the jar. I also got the question a lot of why I have to fill up the watercolor pans 2 to 4 times. And that's because when watercolor paint dries, it shrinks because the water in the binder evaporates. and I want to give you guys full watercolor pans, not half empty watercolor pans. Leave any other questions you guys have down below. Hi, come with me as I fill up some watercolor paints. I love this sparkly blue paint. It kind of reminds me of the ocean, but a lot of you guys have been asking where or when you can get these watercolor paints, and I finally have an answer. My brand new palette will be dropping on July 15th, and I'm super excited but also super nervous because it's been a while since I released a new watercolor palette. My online shop info is in my bio, but I'll also link it down below if you guys are interested. But yeah, I'm super excited for this new palette, and no one has guessed the theme of the palette yet. I went to dinner with my cousin a few days ago, and she was like, you need to tell me the name of the palette. So see if you guys can guess what the theme of this brand new palette will be. Hi, come with me as I fill up some watercolor pans. So guys, I have a crisis on my hands. It is earwig season in Canada, and those tiny little things have invaded my studio. If you don't know what earwigs are, they're these gross little bugs with little pinchers, and in summer they look for places that are cold and damp, and that just happens to be my basement studio. I've killed about 20 of these things, and the other day I went to go take a drink out of my straw, and in the straw I saw something moving. There was 2 earwigs in my straw. Can someone please tell me how to get rid of these things? Because I saw one crawling on my bed the other day, and I'm scared to sleep in my room now. Hi, come with me to fill up some watercolor pans. Now, I special ordered this pigment because I wanted a pigment that kind of reminded me of like a magical crystal almost. And this pigment is so super sparkly, but because it's so sparkly, it ended up making the paint really thick, which isn't a bad thing. It just means that the bottle I usually use to fill up my watercolor paints had a little bit of a rough time. But this pigment is so sparkly and so fine, it ended up like coating my whole workstation in sparkly pigment, including myself, so I kind of look like a vampire from Twilight. But it's worth it because I love this paint so much. Hi, come with me as I fill up some watercolor pans with some really sparkly watercolor paint. So, I am a nap connoisseur. I love naps more than most things in the world. I will never say no to a nap. I was trying to explain this to my mother the other day, that there are some naps that are just like peak nap potential. For example, I live in Canada, and when there's like the first snowstorm of December and everything's just covered in snow and cold, but you're all cuddled up in a blanket and you're about to fall asleep and take a nap, it's like peak nap. Or when there's like a thunderstorm in spring and you take a nice nap while listening to the rain, it's the best thing in the world. Like, I love napping. But some people just can't nap, and I feel really bad for them. Hi, come with me as I fill up some watercolor paints from my new palette releasing on Saturday. So guys, I'm actually really nervous about my new palette launch on Saturday, because I haven't released a palette in a while because I was really sick, and also my videos haven't been getting as much attention as they usually do, so I'm really worried this palette's going to be a big flop. But then again, I always think that before I release a new product, and it's never as bad as I think it is. I don't know, the nerves have been getting to me though. They've been getting in my head and I'm doubting myself, and I need to stop doing that because I'm honestly really proud of this upcoming palette. Hi, come with me as I swatch the paints from my brand new Magical Girl palette available now on my shop. In every order, you get this little swatch page so you can swatch the paints to see how they look. I wanted every single color in this palette to be unique, but also look like they could be in a magical girl anime. For the matte paints, I actually used some neon pigment in them so they almost glow. I want them to look really bright and vibrant, almost like they're glowing. And for the sparkly watercolor paints, I used extra fine pigment. This color Crystal I'm swatching right here is my absolute favorite because it really does look like a magical crystal. I'd have to say my other favorite paint from this palette is Transformation, the one I'm swatching right here, because it looks like a dark purple, but then it turns into like this light purpley blue. I love it so much. But again, if you're interested in getting this palette, I'll link my online shop down below. Hi, come with me as I design the cover art for my brand new Magical Girl palette, available now on my online shop. I'll link it in the description. So this palette is based off of like magical girl anime and cartoons. So I wanted the cover art to really represent that. And in most magical girl anime and cartoons, they have like a little charm that they use to transform into their magical alter ego. So I wanted to draw that, and I decided to color it with colors from the palette, mostly the neon colors because I thought they represented the theme the best. And then for the background, I wanted it to look like an anime girl transformation scene. Then the last thing I did was just add some really cute writing to label the palette. And there it is. Let me know what you guys think about the cover art for the palette. I personally love it. Hi! Today I want to paint a magical girl using my brand new Magical Girl watercolor palette. And I think I'm gonna paint this magical girl I drew in my second coloring book. Before I start using the watercolors, I'm gonna use this Ohuhu marker to do her skin tone. I want to start with her hair, and I'm gonna use the shade Transformation on it. I love this paint because it looks like a really dark purple, but when you paint with it, it's actually like a bright purpley blue. And because purple and yellow are opposite colors, I used my shade Usagi for her eyes so they really popped. I love this palette because the matte colors are super bright and then the shiny colors are super shiny. Like, look at this paint I call Crystal because it literally looks like a crystal. Anyways, if you're interested in getting my new palette or my coloring book, I'll link my shop down below or in my bio.